So the thought was to come out here and harvest some nettle, but I'm looking at this garden and it's so pretty. So I'm gonna make a little video and show y'all around a little bit, because I think I did it one time before, but it kept cutting in and out. So now that I do this a little bit differently, let's see if we can make it work. So hang on, let me switch this around. Okay, so here we are in the Tulsi bed, which is the first bed right here, raised bed. Got some elecampane growing over here. This is one of the first beds we put in, but it's growing. The niece hyssop, I don't know if you guys remember that I videoed the other day, and it was really small, but look how big it's gotten. And then there's my goji berry, all tall. And then here's the Tulsi that I topped off the other day, and you can see it's got all kinds of little flower spikes on it again. I'll have to top this again before I can even harvest it, and I'm ready to harvest now. But let's see, we got some butterflies over there on that anise hyssop, and a bunch of bees, which I think those buds have about done their thing, so I guess everybody's gonna start coming over here, which there's a little bee on this one. Where'd he go? So there's that, and then we've got some dock coming up beside it, which I've already cut back once. And there's also some skullcap. That's the bakal, the Chinese, which a lot of it has gone to seed. It has a real pretty purple flower when it comes up, and it's just spread there by itself. And then there's my lemongrass fighting for its life there on the end of the bed, but it usually does pretty well. And here's some more. Here's a bed of elecampane that I planted this year. Probably got those way too close together, but I had brought them up from seed, so they came up and I wanted to plant them instead of getting rid of them, so there they are. I want to get this, let's see, over here. So here's stuff. Oh look, we've got a bloom on this flower here. I'm not real sure what this is. A friend of mine gave it to me, but look, isn't that pretty? Very nice. And he's really tall, whatever it is. I love those leaves. Ooh, and look at these sunflowers, how big they've gotten. Wow, that's gonna be gorgeous when it does flower. And then we've got our okra right here, which is, I've already gotten a couple of okra off of it. I think it might have one in there that's getting a little big. And boy, there's ants all over these okra plants. Here's another flower or plant that a friend of mine gave me, which I'm not real sure what it is. And then we've got some beans that are kind of sprawled out here that need to be trellised up. Oh gosh, I'm stepping on. We've got water that pools down here, and I don't know if you guys can see that. The bees are not happy with me right now. Bees all in that water. They love it. Anyway, okay, let's back to the garden. So these have started climbing up the trellis. As you can see, the beans. And let's see if we got any flowers. I think there's some little flowers starting to come out on some of these. So we might have some beans off of these soon, I hope. At least I think these are beans. Pretty sure. I think they're pole beans, actually. Look, that one's already climbed all the way up there. How cool. So yeah, they're nice and healthy and happy. And here's another, I think that's okra as well. Yep. And then there's the Hopi plant. We got some zinnias going on. There's some other cool looking flowers that a friend of mine gave me. And then I planted some thyme in here because I had a plant there, but it died. I can't remember what it was though. So since my battery's about to die, I'm going to show you this nettle before I do anything else. Oh yeah, and there's some more beans on this side. There's my pretty little, hey. Some beans growing up on this side, which these down here, let's see, I don't know if you can see, let's see if I can get it in the camera. A pretty pink bean, really pretty. I just left that one on there because it had gotten so big. I just said, okay. And then there's one that's getting ready to change, let's see, getting ready to change color. not too good with this camera thing. And then, oh look, hello butterfly. Come to say hello. Make his camera debut. And then we've got some more babies up here. Ooh, looks like we're getting some insect damage on those leaves. And I see the culprit up there. It's a dang Japanese beetle. God, those things drive me crazy. Oh yeah, look, they're all over this leaf. Look at that. I gotta do some insect quality control over here. I think this plant is some type of a pumpkin that my friend gave me that I put there. And I'm gonna try to grow it and see how it works. And we got another lemongrass, which I love lemongrass, so. And then here's some more zinnias in my shadow. Yeah, and here's all the nettle, which it's got a bunch of Japanese beetles on it too, but I wanted to get that before my camera completely dies. And then there's a whole bunch over there on that other bed that I'm getting ready to harvest as well. But you can see these nettles have seeds all over them. So those seeds are amazing medicine as well. So we're gonna get us some nettles going. The little butterflies over here enjoying the nettles as well. I'm not real sure what the butterflies. And of course there's Japanese beetles all over my nettle as well. What in the world? Look, they're making babies over here on my nettle. Nettle, y'all need to sting these things and get them off of my plants. Look at that. You turds. Get off of there. Okay, well, we'll get it. And all that is nettle. Then you got some more lemongrass over here. And boy, these butterflies are everywhere. And then we have the asparagus, which is right there. And then the nettle, like I said, over here. And there's some more lemongrass on the end over there. We got some rue plants that are in there still blooming. Some of them are went to seed, and some of them are still blooming. Let's see. I'm probably gonna have to finish this tomorrow because my battery is about dead. I just love a rue. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm not real sure. I think these little seed pods I can save and start some plants for next year. Oh, hello there. Look at that pretty baby that just come and said hello. Hello. Are you enjoying the zinnia? How cool. And that, folks, is why we don't spray anything. And then there's some type of bee buzzing around down there. And there's our motherwort, which I harvested the other motherwort, but there's some motherwort going to flower. I probably need to do something with those too. These zinnias are getting pretty big, which they've got some insect damage as well. But they got some pretty light lime green blooms. Look, I think they're so pretty. Okay. And then of course the lemongrass, and we got some more beans trailing up here. The trellis. I got bugs flying all over me. And then the next bed over, this is another one that I think is I'm not sure if it's a pumpkin or what it is. I planted all of these out here and one day and it had started to rain. So my stuff washed off and oh well, didn't happen. Washed all my labels off. We got some, I think those are teddy bear sunflowers coming up back there. And then here's another pumpkin. I think they're small pumpkins anyways, like babies or something. And these, I'm not sure, but I think I've got some gourds coming up here somewhere, and they might be these things, but I'm not gonna swear to it. And here's some more teddy bear sunflowers. I can't wait till they bloom. They're supposed to be so pretty. And there's an okra. I planted my okra really late, so it's not doing so great. And some more zinnias over here. And I'm not sure what that is either, again, because everything, the little signs and stuff. We've got some flowers on whatever this is. It looks like a squash, doesn't it? No, I'm not sure what it is. Could be. Possible. There's a pretty pink zinnia. Look at that. Yay. And then I just threw a whole bunch of zinnia seeds in there. And since they're so close together, I don't think they're doing that well. You can see that little bitty baby. I'll probably put that in there too close together. And these are the Chinese red noodle bean. And they're coming up, which I planted, like I said, I planted some of this stuff late. So, and it's got, the bugs are loving it, which I've come out here several times and put the diatomaceous earth on it, but it rains and then it washes it off and then I don't get anything. I think we're getting ready to get some beans, look. That would be cool. Once we do. I don't see any babies right now. I see a little flowers. Okay. And then this bed over here, these beans, these are the green, the Chinese green long bean, and they're going crazy. Ooh, look, we're getting ready to get some babies. We're getting some now. See, look. See, isn't it pretty? Focus, focus. And I planted these over here in my bed that has holy basil and danshin. So it's like plumb packed full. And I've cut that stuff back, but it just, you just can't kill Tulsi in my garden for whatever reason. It must like it here. And then the danshin is over here. And it has all kinds of pollinators on it too. They love these flowers. And this stuff has just went crazy in my bed this year. Every time I think it's done, it'll have a new little baby. And it's so pretty. And it's medicinal too. I'll have to do a video about some of these herbs and tell you guys about them. And we'll do that. And see all this Tulsi. This is the other bed of Tulsi. So anybody need any Tulsi? Goodness gracious. Need somebody come and help me harvest all this stuff and top all this stuff. And then there's the bees. The bees are hot. See how they're all bearding down the hive there. Those are our 2 hives that we've had for almost 2 years now. And they swarm. The swarms are in another place. So anyway, I'm not going to show y'all guys the rest of the garden today. Let's look at the bee over here. Oh, he ran away. I must have heard the dog bark. So I'll hold on. Oh, look, there he is. Come over here closer. Hello. Are you liking the flowers? I see you. Okay, so I'm gonna come out here in the morning and finish this video. So I'll see you then. Hey y'all, it's the next day and I'm walking out here to give the chickens some treats. Y'all's chickens do this when you walk out to the chicken coop. They are just knowing that I'm bringing them something. You gonna sing for me, Piper? No, not yet. Alright. Y'all need to get out of the way so Mama can come in. Watch out. Don't try to run by me now. I see you, Red. No, get out of the way. No. You get out there, you'll get in trouble. Y'all want to hear a rooster sing? He knows where to go too. Y'all get out of the way. Come on. Come on. Come on, Piper, let's sing. Show everybody how you can sing. To your ladies. I hear ya. Mean. Come on, sing. There we go. Y'all are so silly. Can't stop the video. Good morning. So, the sun is getting in this thing. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. So the first part of this video I took on Thursday, and yesterday was Friday, today's Saturday. Yesterday was just really busy and I did not get a chance, and plus it's really hot. So if I don't get out here in the mornings, hey Cocoa Bean, if I don't get out here in the mornings, or late in the evening, oh I see a hummingbird over there trying to, hello, okay, then it's just too hot. So I'm gonna walk around and show you the rest of the garden this morning. I hope you all are doing well. So let me flip this around. This is about where we ended last time, here at the Tulsi bed with the danchin, which I really need to top all this Tulsi. Remember the bees were bearding so much the other day in the afternoon, and they were all in the front of the hive? Well, it's morning, so they're not quite as hot. Can you see? They're not bearding as much, but they are flying all over the place. I don't want to get too close over there. They probably wouldn't hurt me, but since I'm paying more attention to filming, I think I'd rather stay a little bit further. Well, we'll walk by. They're not gonna do a whole lot. I just really, this Tulsi is just mesmerizing. The smell, oh my gosh, you can't even, with all the there's little bitty bugs and bees all over this. I don't know if you can see that. I mean, they are everywhere. I guess they're called like little sweat bees or something. They are all over these little flowers. They're not gonna like me when I come over here and start taking all their flowers away from them. Oh well. Okay, so these are the beds that we walked around on Thursday. So there's Starbird, there's the beehives, and that right there was a tree that I bought when I first moved in, and a storm or something took it out. It was a weeping something, and now it has grown back, but it's, I guess, a bush, I don't know. And there's my greenhouse fund that we're working on getting together. And there's one of my elderberries. I got a few berries off of this year. Not enough to do a whole lot about, but, and I left one on here just so the birds, well, I mean one clump, and they've eaten it, hoping that the birds would eat it and maybe poop me out another tree somewhere. Wishful thinking. We'll see if it works. And so this was the container that we used to raise our little chicks in, and I needed somewhere to plant a couple of things, so I'm like, okay, let's just use it as a planter, and then when we get more chicks I'll get another one. So that's what I did. And we've got some rosemary, and one of my hibiscus or roselle plants is in here. And this one was the last one I planted, and it doesn't, I can't tell, which I come out here last night and got a bunch of daggone Japanese beetles off of it and smushed them. See what they've been eating on my leaves. Little turds. Oh, look, I see some over here. Look. Where are they going? I can't, oh, there they are. You can't really see them. Ooh, there's 4 of them little suckers in there. Okay. You gotta die. Ew, now I got gunk on my fingers. Okay. So, maybe if we keep smushing them, we'll get rid of these dang things. So, there's the greenhouse again. And here's some more elder. I planted, I don't know how many I planted in here a long time ago, and they're finally starting to come up. The deer ate them down to the ground like the second year that they'd come up, and I almost cried. And here's another roselle. Ooh, we got a bloom. This is the first one of the first ones I planted. I have 3. This one's got all kinds of little buds on it, but look at that flower. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. These are little buds or calyxes that we're going to use to make tea once they're ready. They have to, it's not focusing. I don't know why it's not focusing. Let's see if we can get this one. Where'd you go? Oh, there it is. So it'll open into a flower, and then it'll close back up and have these little calyx. I don't think I have one that's already flowered and come back. So we'll just have to wait. We're getting ready to have a whole bunch though. It's a bit tedious to harvest and do, but I love it. So anyway, and I had some nasturtiums down here, but with the heat and everything, they're about gone. And this doesn't get watered. It's not on our watering system, so if I don't come over here and water it, it don't water. And don't get watered, unless Mother Nature decides to give me some water. And here is a rogue tomato plant. I'm not really sure what kind it is. It was in the nasturtium when I planted the nasturtium over here, and it's come up, so I'm just leaving it alone and let's see what we can get out of it. Next is another elder, and then here's the verbena that I brought back to life, and it was flowering so pretty, but like I said, it's been so hot that it just, unless I'm out here watering it 3 or 4 times a day, it doesn't do very well. It's still alive, and it'll probably come back, especially this fall when it's a little bit cooler. And then these little flowers a friend gave me, but man, look at these blooms. They're like, I don't know how to explain it. They're just weird, and they're like fuzzy, like a cloud almost. And I had some other stuff in here which didn't get watered and died. There's some yarrow down there that I started from seed, so that'll be good. Get off my stubby. And this little tree I planted when I first moved in, and I have no idea what it's called, but it's so gorgeous. It looks like a hydrangea almost, the blooms do. Look over here. I'll get a close-up of these flowers. I've seen butterflies all over it this morning. See, the flowers are just like a hydrangea. And it's got all kinds of little bees on it too. Man, these little sweat bees are everywhere. They're not liking me being over here. But yeah, I love this. I love this tree. Then we've got some mint growing in the window well here, which I think this one is spearmint growing in this one. And I'm doing this for my benefit as well as for you guys, because that way I can look back on these and be like, oh yeah, that's what was in there. And here we have some motherwort that has not flowered yet. I did start these from seed, and I planted the plants in here all real close together. Probably too close together actually, but we'll see what it does. But they came up fairly easy with seed, so if you guys want to start some seeds of some motherwort, if you want some motherwort, and I'll do another video talking about how good it is for you and what it's good for. And I just love the backdrop of those flowers and bushes with the little flowers. And then we got some chives coming out around the edges. I thought they were going to flower this year, and they did not. So I was kind of bummed about that. I really wanted some. Well, actually one of them did, it looks like, but I want to make some vinegar. And the crepe myrtle here. There's some violets. I've got a bunch of violets coming up in random spots. I need to make an oil and make a cream like one of my herbalist friends does a video about. And this is more mint. On the left is ginger mint, and on the right is a lemon mint. I bought those at a nursery, and they taste pretty decent. I think I'm gonna like harvest it and make like a tea, just a mint tea, and put all my different mints in there and see what that tastes like. I think that would be pretty good. And here's some catmint that I got on clearance, and it's got some pretty purple flowers on it over here. Catmint, I don't think, is not the same as catnip. I've got catnip coming up back there next to the tree. It came up by itself. This is catmint, which is something different. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to do some more investigating as to what it is. I've got the name, the botanical name written down. So, and then I planted some lavender in there, but again, it didn't get watered, so it kind of died out. And let's see. Here's some milkweed that I started from seed in a fire ring. Hey Coco, what are you doing? And it hasn't bloomed or anything yet, but it's getting pretty big. And there's Piper wondering what the hell I'm doing and why I'm talking. And y'all, I saw this yesterday and I almost cried. So I started the St. John's wort from seed, and look at this. We've got blooms this year. I was so happy. Look at that. I so want the St. I got a bee on me. Please go away. I used to have a great big huge St. John's wort plant, and I'd make some of the prettiest oil, and it just died. I don't know what happened. And there's a foxglove back there, sunflower that just volunteered here, and some marigolds. What are you doing, Piper? Huh? Am I interrupting your morning with your ladies? Or are you after Coco? Are you and Coco having a standoff? Well, I don't think any good's gonna come from it, because you're in the fence and he's out here, she's out here, so I think they're checking each other out. I don't think he likes it that she's over here. All his women are over there in the shade like smart chickens, and he is over here tormenting Coco. So here's another foxglove and some lamb's ear that I bought, again, on sale on clearance. Probably at Lowe's. And then I've got the butterfly weed, and this one, I've got a little lamb's quarter thing plant coming up there. See, really cute. I don't kill the lamb's quarters because you know they're edible. And this bloomed once already, and it's got some little buds on it again right here. So it'll probably bloom again. And this one looks like, oh, look, it's got little buds at the end of it too. So we might be getting some more flowers out of those. That's butterfly weed. That stuff grows out in the fields right now. If you're riding along, especially in Rockland County, and you see like these beautiful orange flowers in the middle of a field, that's what this is butterfly weed. The roots are used in lung issues called pleurisy root. Ooh, I see some mushrooms coming up over there. Called pleurisy root. So you can look that up if you want to know more about that plant and its medicinal qualities. Ooh, look at this hollyhock. Look at that pretty flower. Ooh, this is going to be upside down or sideways or something. Okay, there. That's better. Look at the pretty flower. And then this one is just a regular flower, but it's still pretty. Very pretty, baby. And then I've got a whole bed of yarrow because I love yarrow and I want to have a lot of it to harvest. I don't think this is going to flower. I did start these from seed too. I don't think these are going to flower this year, but hopefully they will next year. And then I cleaned out the chicken yard, so I've got stuff thrown over here from what was over there. But this is my witch hazel tree that I started last year. And it's growing. I'm trying to keep the weeds out of it. Hopefully I can get it to grow bigger. I've got another one in a pot over there that I bought this year in the spring, but I haven't planted it yet. Okay, let's go over to this window well. This is astragalus, which is an adaptogen. And again, I've been trying to get everything water, but sometimes I just don't make it, and these really need a lot of water. So, plus we've got a sprinkler that sprays and it gets a little bit of these, but it probably doesn't water it as much as it should be watered. And these were milkweed, like the wild milkweed. I don't remember the name of it, but a lot is coming up on the sides of the rows of this milkweed, and it was really gorgeous when it was here. I had posted some pictures of it. But look down here. I noticed this yesterday too. That is spearmint coming up. Check that out. So I thought that was kind of cool. Like, okay. And this here is ashwagandha, also known as winter cherry. It's also an adaptogen. And see, I put these because you use the roots of these plants. So having them in these window wells like this makes it a lot easier to harvest them and keep their roots and have them for medicine. But this right here will bloom and have like this little, it looks like a tomatillo almost. See the little buds on there? So, and it'll bloom and have these really pretty red looking cherry things, which are not edible, this fall. So that'll be really pretty once it gets bigger. And then right around your first frost, or before your first freeze, which actually I dug one up that overwintered and the root was still good. It still smelled really good. So you might be able to still like overwinter and do them too, but I don't hold me to that. And then here we have some hyssop that I started from seed. And again, the water and the heat are just, and there's some nasturtiums that are on their last leg. My poor nasturtiums haven't done very well this year. This is the first year really that I've had any. And then this little bed right here, I've been pleased with these little flowers a friend of mine gave me, my friend Pat. Aren't they the cutest things? Look at those little button flowers. And these little yellow ones, they look like, I don't know, a cross between a dandelion and a marigold. And then in this bed we've got feverfew. And then I threw some zinnia seeds. I think those are zinnia. Yeah, those are zinnias, I believe. I threw some zinnia seeds in there to try to kind of shade it out because feverfew likes to keep their feet wet. So there's another feverfew. So pretty. When my first feverfew plant come up and I was first beginning to be an herbalist, I had bought a bunch of plants, didn't know what they were, and one of them I had stuck in I hadn't planted it, I had just put the actual pot in a pot that was growing rosemary. And my feverfew took root through the pot that it was in, and so it ended up taking over that pot and killed out my rosemary. So, and I thought it was chamomile, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've got chamomile growing. But no, it was not chamomile, it was feverfew. I learned later on because I didn't know a whole lot about plants at that point. And that hasn't been that long ago. It's probably 3 or 4 years ago, I guess. And then we've got some bone set coming up over here. Let me get down the other side of this thing. So this is bone set. This stuff grows like crazy around here. But if you want to know, it's very medicinal. Good for, they call it bone set because the natives would use it to cure a bone breaking flu or something like that. I think is what they said it. That's how you say it. So it's really bitter, and you can use it, and it'll flower, real pretty white flower. Use it for when you have the flu, but the bitter, you know, I've heard that you don't really taste the bitter when you're sick because it's what your body needs, but I don't know if that's true or not because I have not gotten the flu and I do not want the flu. So, oh look, I think there's a chicory plant coming up over there. See that purple? Holy cow, I didn't even notice that until just now. See the little purple flower? I think that's chicory. Huh. And then this whole bed right here is mugwort, which I need to harvest. So I've got a lot of stuff out here to harvest. I'm probably going to be calling some people in to come and help me because I need some help. Those are our swarm hives back there, and they're mean. They chase mint bed. I'm determined I'm going to have mint this year. So this is chocolate mint in this bed with a little zinnia in there that I had bought that was reduced. I think I got it at Lowe's. I don't know. Here's some purslane that I started from seed. Purslane's really easy to start from seed, and it's edible, and it's gorgeous, so grow it. And then we've got echinacea, coneflower, which everybody knows echinacea is good for boosting your immunity and all that. And then I've got some oregano over here. that I also started from seed. All these I started from seed except for the one sage plant that my friend Pat I got from her. I think I bought that one. I don't think she gave me that one. Then I've got some little plants here that I have bought on sale and just haven't figured out where I want to plant them yet, and they're just over here kind of getting watered with everything else. And then there's a lemon verbena that I purchased at a nursery, and then I threw some catmint in that little container over there. I mean, not catmint, catnip. In that little container over there, some seeds to see if it will come up, and it has. So I'll probably be trying to plant that somewhere more suitable for it. And then we've got the lemon balm. This is the lemon balm that I harvested the other day. I didn't harvest this middle part because I wanted to leave some more so I could harvest it later. And it's starting to turn color. You see some of these are looking like red and orange, so I need to come out here and harvest that. And then this right here is grown up from where I harvested it before. You can't even hardly tell anymore which is which. So then we've got some white sage down here. Look how pretty that is. I can't wait to make me a smudge stick out of that. I'm gonna put it in the greenhouse and see if I can overwinter it. I hope I can. And then here's some I think that's peppermint, pretty sure. Some peppermint, and then we've got, here's some arnica. Have you ever seen an arnica flower? Ow, I'm getting attacked by a tree. Seen an arnica flower? So this is arnica. Good for skin issue, well, not skin, but bruises and sprains and stuff like that. And the chamomile over here, which I've harvested some of. I need like a whole bed of chamomile because I'm not getting enough flowers off of these to do a whole lot with. Let's see. Here is my calendula, which I've been picking pretty much every day. And again, I probably need more calendula to be able to get the harvest to make what I need to make with it. And here's the other witch hazel tree that I bought and stuck in a pot. I'm going to plant it probably this fall. I'm hoping, anyway. And let's see, over here are my peppers, some of my peppers. And they have not taken off the way I had hoped. But there they are. They're bigger than this other bed you're going to see here in a second. Will you move, please? And I planted some sunflowers here to try to help and shade them just a tiny bit, maybe help them. But now they're starting to look better. So, and here's a sunflower that come up. I don't think that's one that I planted, but it could be because these are a lot smaller. So I don't know. And then we have more pepper. These are the pepper plants that aren't doing well at all. See how tiny? And I've tried everything I know how to try. Again, I planted some, I don't know if those are sunflowers or zinnias. I just come out here and throw seeds down sometimes, so, and I don't mark them, which is probably not a good thing. But I do that. That's how I garden. And then we have, oh man, look, my eggplants. So I started these from seed and got them out here really late. I killed 2 giant slugs out here last night too. Ugh. Look at these babies. We got babies. Look at the babies. We're gonna have some eggplant. Look how cool. So that's cool. Makes me happy. So y'all, you know I talked about Tulsi and how it's becoming almost a weed here. Check this out. So this plant had a goji berry in it. Oh look, the goji berry's coming back. I thought it was dead. And look in here. That is Tulsi. All up in this thing. And I thought this goji berry was dead, but look, it's got little leaves on it coming back. Isn't that cool? And this is a white sage, which I made the mistake of putting it in this pot here that doesn't have a drainage hole. I need to replant it somewhere else because we got a lot of rain. And it doesn't like all that rain. So it didn't do very well with all that water. And then we've got a flower that a friend of mine, Pat, gave me. Then we've got some sorrel. This is sheep sorrel, which you can eat and it tastes lemony, which it's looking a little rough right now. There's some onions that actually overwintered. I've been cooking with these onions, taking them in there and doing some stuff with them. There's some celery. There's some cilantro that's about gone to seed there. And look, check it out. Guess what we have? Tulsi. Yep, you guessed it. More Tulsi. This stuff is everywhere, I'm telling you. And then we've got some plants here that I've got to get in the ground that I started from seed. Got some rosemary and some valerian and more St. John's wort. I got a mullein plant, which that mullein looks pretty rough. Lavender. There's a moringa that I started. And some columbine. And then a wood betony that I purchased from a lady up in Floyd, Virginia. And then here's a flat of plants that I need to get rid of. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. And here is a plant that popped up, and I wasn't really sure what it is, and I've got some more coming up on the other side over there. And I've been told that it's called green dragon, and it likes really moist, and I put those things around it so nobody can step on it. Likes really moist soil and shade, and it's supposed to have like a lily flower, or a, yeah, I think like a lily or a tulip looking flower, something like that. My dog's chilling out on in the cool. So let's see, do I want to do the rest of this? So we got some columbine, some lemon balm here, some rue, which has went to seed. I don't know if it's gonna bloom again. I probably need to cut it back a little bit to see if it will. And then our flowers. There's a pear tree that I got on sale. Ow, on clearance. Some sage and comfrey. I mean, not sage, basil and comfrey. A few plant a friend of mine gave me that I need to plant. And I have more basil up there. There's some gotu-kola in that bed over there. Let me see if I can go up here and show you guys the gotu-kola. Let's see here. Some other wort. I harvested this the other day, got it drying. The basil. This is sage, garden sage. And here's the gotu-kola. Look at that. That was from 2 plants I planted this year. And I'm not really sure. I think it's had babies, yeah, because there's a lot of plants in here. So that's cool. I hadn't even noticed that. And then I threw some zinnia seeds in there, thinking that'll bloom and look pretty. Let's see. And then here we have Solomon seal, which I absolutely love. Look at those. I want you to look at these roots, because that's what you use, are these little roots. They have like nodules on them. So I really probably need to thin this out, or either put some more dirt in here. There's a wasp on that one. I think there's a wasp nest up there we need to get rid of. And then here's some more basil and some comfrey, which I've harvested like 4 or 5 times so far this year. Then we have, let's see if I can do it from up here, all my tomato plants down there. The tomatillos. And then in this bed we have more sage, and we have some lamb's quarters and a Greek mullein actually. And then there's the feverfew I told you guys about that took over my rosemary. So that's the end of our tour. I'm not gonna make this any longer and go around to some of the other little things that I've got in the garden. Maybe next time. I hope you got, ooh, there's a bee after me. Oh no, that's a butterfly. These butterflies are loving me when I'm on camera. So I hope you guys have a great day, a great weekend, and I hope that you get your gardens and enjoy them as much as I enjoy mine. And hopefully we'll do some more videos, maybe some learning videos of what all these strange plants that I have growing are good for. Or otherwise you can look them up. I'm sure there's a lot of information out there. If there's anything that you want to know, and I've mentioned the name of the plant and you want to know how to grow it, or the scientific botanical name for it, let me know. Just put a comment on the video, and I'll be happy to share that information with you. I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.